Civil rights didn't write your resume, but civil rights made somebody read your resume. Don't act like whatever you achieved because you were that smart. You got there because some unlettered grandmas who never saw an inside of a college campus put their bodies on the line in Alabama and Mississippi and sponsored you up here.
National Action Network engages people. We engage people every day on the ground. We engage our state legislators, our national legislators in the capitals of cities and in Washington, D.C. We, of course, engage corporate leaders and seek to hold them responsible and accountable to communities across this country.
Our chapters are often our first line of defense in dealing with issues on the ground and creating a grassroots movement to respond to issues. Our chapters work together with our national staff to ensure that communities are protected against injustices and treated fairly.
And again, we do that because we're on the ground. We do that because we know that every Saturday morning we hold rallies at the National Action Network. We get feedback from the regular, everyday person that's on the ground in cities across this country, because the rally is also webcast all across the nation. It's broadcast on radio in the tri-state area of New York City. So we really stay in touch, and we know that that's important, because it's always important to know where your base is at, the people that you ultimately represent. And because we have a connection to those people, we have the ears of those who are both elected to represent them and who serve them in terms of the businesses and services that they offer consumers across this country. So we are relevant, and that's why they listen.
I'm not asking you to think about what we've already done so you can be satisfied with our progress. I know this isn't the National Satisfaction Network. This is the National Action Network. But I am asking you to draw inspiration from the fact that we know change is possible. I am living testament that change is possible. We know we have the ability to put our shoulders to the wheel of history and steer America towards the promise of a better day. We know that we stand on others' shoulders, and step by step, inch by inch, we make progress.
Well, as Director of Membership for National Action Network, one of my primary focuses within the organization is to engage our members on a national level. And the organization is still growing. We have over 60 chapters now. And it's important that our members become active members of the organization, not just supporting us from a distance, but to really become active participants of change. And so that's what we gear to increase and to promote.
I currently serve as National Director of Operations for National Action Network. I am mainly responsible for overseeing day-to-day operations and human resources for NAN's growing national staff. We operate 7 regional offices in New York, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Miami, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, and Detroit, with an efficient staffing that coordinates the work of our chapters. National Action Network's goal is to turn demonstration into legislation.
National Action Network's Youth Move provides a voice and a vehicle for the next generation of social change agents. Young people across the country advocate for issues addressing social justice, education, youth violence, and conflict resolution. Youth Move nurtures young people in gaining skills in various areas, including leadership training, social networking, media and legislative advocacy, and public speaking. Youth Move has a weekly program called The Huddle that allows young people to converse in a setting that is informal, safe, and with their peers about issues of relevance in the community.
We are up earliest in the morning, and we go to bed last at night. We leave no stone unturned, and we respond to every call in a timely and immediate fashion. We try to plan ahead, and we try to see the future so we know what moves need to be made. I think what makes us the best, what makes us a leading organization, is that we believe in the work, we take it seriously, and we do it diligently.
Most significantly, we organized the 50th anniversary March on Washington, the national action to realize the Dream March that took place in August.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed.
Dr. King said, and I quote, "Somewhere we must come to see that human progress never rolls on the wheels of inevitability." Let me emphasize that. Never rolls on the wheels of inevitability. He went on to say, it comes through tireless efforts and persistent work of dedicated individuals who are willing to be co-workers with God. Or as my mom would say, doing God's work. That's what all of you are all about as you fight for economic justice, racial and gender equality, and trying to stem the tide of new attempts to restrict the right of our people to vote. It's the everyday actions that you inspire that are going to keep human progress rolling forward and keep it from sliding back.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. came in several weeks, and they successfully, with the help of National Guardsmen, successfully was able to march from Montgomery to Selma, Alabama. The beating on that bridge forced the President of the United States to realize at the time to make sure that Black Americans, and therefore all Americans, had the unequivocal right to vote was now. Dr. King in Montgomery during that march said the urgency of the matter was now, the time was now, when he said how long, not long, and that was what had to happen.
We voted for Johnson. We had ID when we voted for Nixon. We had ID when we voted for those that succeeded him: Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush again. Why, when we get to Obama, do we need some special ID?
And National Action Network has a House of Justice. It was dedicated and named by one of the mentors of Reverend Sharpton, Reverend Jesse Jackson. And we try to live up to the meaning of that name, the House of Justice. And every Saturday, we hold a community rally that is broadcast throughout the nation, both on internet and on radio. We make sure that people can come there that are looking for help, that need assistance, that are looking for referrals. We hold a monthly legal night in order to give people in our community an affordable way to get direction on some of the legal challenges that face them in a community. All of our chapters duplicate those efforts in many ways, which is how we stay connected to the communities that we serve. We try to know what the needs are within that community, and we try to help people meet those needs.
National Action Network continues to bring awareness to local and national civil rights issues around this country. This year in particular, NAN had a major part in amplifying issues like Stand Your Ground and bringing the fight to Ground Zero, Florida, Stop and Frisk in New York, and voter rights issues around this country. NAN has always been a voice for the voiceless, and the ability of this organization and Reverend Sharpton to do so continues to impact change within this country. Never slowing down as the continued fight for justice is always necessary, NAN will focus this next year on protecting voters' rights in this midterm election, as well as focusing on key issues on the ballot. Reverend Sharpton recently visited Ohio to kick off a voter rights drive, and under his leadership, the organization will continue to fight to protect voter enfranchisement at the polls. Our Saturday Action rallies are broadcasted live from the House of Justice, and every Sunday he hosts the Hour of Power. Viewers can also tune in nightly during the week to watch him on his MSNBC Politics Nation show. These shows give us a unique ability to support our efforts in communicating to the nation the work that the organization is doing on a daily basis in a way that few progressive organizations are able to do.
We see a new America. We see an America of equality, of justice, of fairness. We march because we're going to bring a new America. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice, not for some, not for who you choose, not for who you like, but for all. We believe in a new America. It's time to march for a new America. It's time to organize for a new America. It's time to register and vote for a new America. We're on our way. We're on our way. We're on our way.